Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Melanie Dean. I'm a psychologist, a scientist, and a Hay House author of the book, The Hidden Power of Emotions. And you're listening to the Wave Maker podcast, where we explore how your emotions are real energy waves that are more powerful than you think. And so are you. When you learn how to tap the power of your emotions, you can attract everything in life that you want. It's not just positive thinking, it's science, and I will show you how. Hello, I'm coming to you today from my home in Wyoming. I used to raise my kids here when they were little, and now my family gets to use it as a vacation home. It's very serene here, which leads me into the topic of how to transform doubt, worry, anxiety that comes with uncertainty about the future. How do we transform that into trusting in your own ability to know what's right for you? So we're going to look at that today, and whether you have been a follower of mine through the Wavemaker community for a while, or whether you're new to my podcasts, having just come in through the webinar of Manifesting Mistakes, I say welcome. There will be new information for you today as we talk about how to use your scientifically real energy of your intuitive guidance to feel calm and trusting of the decisions that are right for you in your life. We're going to talk about why your intuitive guidance is not a crystal ball for the future. It's more like a GPS system. So we're going to first look at what the scientifically real energy is of your intuitive guidance. We're going to talk about how you access that and what to expect when you're using it to transform your doubt into confidence and trust of the decisions that you're making. And then I'm going to give you a tip from the Dalai Lama that will be a default strategy to use in any situation if you are unclear. So that's a lot to unpack today. Let's dive in first to help you understand how it is that your intuitive guidance that operates like a GPS system, we all are naturally built with this intuitive guidance system, and it's scientifically real energy. So it is made out of emotions. Intuition is an emotion. You are familiar with like a gut reaction, a clear knowing. You have a hunch and an instinct. All those are emotions. And every time you have an emotion, your body creates a molecule that matches that emotion. Molecules are made out of the elements of the earth that everything in the earth and atmosphere are made out of. Carbon and hydrogen and nitrogen and oxygen are some of the elements that are in your emotion molecules and that are at work in this shared energy field that we all participate in. So it is through your emotions that you participate in this shared energy field. You are interacting with this field all the time, whether you're aware of it or not, and you get to interact with it and influence it, and it influences you through the energy of your emotions. So when your body makes emotion molecules, each of those emotion molecules has its own unique wave pattern. There are 300 quadrillion waves of energy per second spinning and moving inside those molecules. And those energy waves, they communicate under the rules of quantum physics. They communicate both inside your body and they connect up and seek a match also outside your body for similar other energy. So it is that real energy of your emotions that's at work. So you can access your intuitive guidance by getting into a place where the intuitive guidance can reach you and you can reach it. You can understand it. You can feel the ping of, yes, that's a match. That is my answer. And that emotions that create the wave pattern that can easily get in sync, and when it gets in sync, it shares encoded information at a quantum physics level. I'm not going to get into that detail, but you will feel the knowing that I have a connection with similar energy. That is what I am wanting in my life. You'll have an inner knowing, and we'll get to that in a minute. So to create the energy wave which allows you to access this inner knowing, you need to create emotion within yourself so that it creates the molecule that produces a wave pattern that is smooth and easy and even, serene, much like this setting that I'm in. And please enjoy the serenity of the light passing over. There's lots of windows here, and so the light is going to be doing its thing. So you want to create energy wave patterns through your emotions that are smooth and even. And those energy waves, which go along with calm, hopeful, eager, happy, caring, and loving emotions, all of those emotions, each of course has its own unique wave pattern, but the wave patterns are similar to this smooth and even wave pattern. As opposed to your fear, your worry, your anxiety will have a pattern that is more jagged and sharp and uneven and chaotic in nature. You then cannot very easily get in touch with where is there a match for that energy. You might not want to get in touch with that because you probably don't want more of that energy in your life. So you could just say, I'm going to create the energy, the emotion of calm and happy and joyful to access my intuitive guidance, and it also creates more in the universe of those energy waves seeking a match out there in the energy field. So when those energy waves are seeking a match out in the energy field, there are myriad of ways in which you can get connected with your core desires, with what it is you're wanting. And your intuitive guidance is going to help you to know which decisions and opportunities are a match to bring you what you want. So your intuitive guidance is not a crystal ball. Your intuitive guidance isn't going to give you all of a sudden a clarity and a knowing for what's going to happen way in the future. Your intuitive guidance is going to unfold with you in the process, with you, of knowing which decisions are a match to bring you that which you want in your life. So we're going to talk about some examples in just a moment of how that works. But first, let's talk about how you access it so that you can know you can get in touch with this intuitive guidance every day to work for you. And remember, it's going to be step-by-step guidance. It's going to be guidance for this little bit and then that little bit. So the way you access your intuitive guidance is to get into that emotional space within you that is producing the calm, smooth, even waves of energy. Now, the way that I like to do that is easy for me, and you may find your own way. The goal is to be of a calm mind and a calm body, and then to feel your heart expanding. Now, the way that I do a calm mind and a calm body is I pay attention to my breathing. And when I have thoughts of worry or anxiety or wondering or just thinking about things, I just let them float past. And each breath that I take, I pay attention to my body feeling calmer, to each breath being deeper and slower. And as each breath is deeper and slower, my body calms down and my mind calms down. And then it's serene, it feels peaceful to just be in this space with a calm, deep breathing pattern. Your body's calm and your mind is calm. If you find that you can get into this space by taking a walk in nature, or by doing some calm yoga moves, or by journaling that allows you to release emotion, however you get into this calm space is perfect. When you're in this calm space, the key to accessing your intuitive guidance is to feel your heart expanding with anything that brings it a feeling of fullness. When you feel that, now you can all remember times in your life when you have felt the opposite of that. You have felt a heart ache and you feel your heart contract with disappointment, pain, grief, sorrow. So you know that feeling. You also know the feeling, and you have felt it, when the world just seems to be full of joy. You feel proud for a family member and what they've done. You feel thankful for relationships in your life. You feel happy for the things in your life that bring you joy. So go to that place where you can feel the expansion of your heart. Now, the reason why that is so important and so helpful in getting in touch with your intuitive guidance is that your heart is the largest organ in your body, and your heart is the largest producer of emotion molecules in your body. So when you fill your heart with anything that allows you to feel gratitude, allows you to feel thankfulness, allows you to feel hope and eagerness, care, compassion, a fullness within yourself, that automatically sets the what's happening in your heart to produce the molecules of emotion that match that. Your heart makes those molecules of emotion. So they are automatically in this wave pattern. That's the wave pattern of those emotions, which means then you have access to when those energy waves are syncing with similar other energy waves. And then when they sync in the quantum physics world, they share information and they remain bonded for a lifetime. That means they are staying connected to you, and they are staying connected to whatever other energy is out there that is the similar energy. So that's the information you want. You want the information of what is similar energy. What is your intuitive guidance giving you a message that says that's a match for your desire? That's the intuitive guidance that you want. Much like the GPS system, if you set an address for you where you want to go, the GPS tells you turn here, turn there, take that pathway. It will lead you to what you're wanting. Don't take that pathway. But let's look at that. If you do take a pathway that isn't for you, what does your GPS do? It recalibrates. It gets you back to a pathway that will work for you. So if you have doubts and worries that you've made decisions that weren't best for you, or you're not sure you've heard your intuitive guidance and you make decisions and you think, I'm not sure that was the best decision to make, no worries. Your energy has multiple ways to reach your goal. There is lots of opportunities in this energy field we all share. Your internal guidance system, your intuitive guidance, your GPS will simply recalibrate for the opportunities that are available to you in that current circumstance, because remember, your intuitive guidance is working for you, with you, every step of the way as things are unfolding. So let's look at a couple of examples so you can know what I mean by that. Recently, I was trying to make a decision whether to try to get my family of 4, 2 adult children, and my husband and I together for a family vacation. Now you would think, okay, sure, do that. Why would you need intuitive guidance to know whether you should get your family of 4 together for a family vacation? Because that all seems good. It all seems like that's going to meet my goal, my desire, my vision for more harmony and love and time together and fun together with my family. Well, you probably also know that people are complex and they all have their own wish list. They all have their own thoughts about things and their desires about things. So it wasn't just as easy as saying, yes, I'd like to pull my family together and have this great, wonderful, loving connection and fun together. I was like, well, I don't know if that's going to work. And why don't I know if that's going to work? Well, we live in a world in which our own energy is out there for that which we desire, but so is everybody else's energy out there for that which they desire. So my kids' energy is out there, my husband's energy is out there, and our intuitive guidance helps us to go with the changing circumstances. So I don't know whether pulling the family together is going to work for everybody until I set the desire and the intention for wanting greater love, connection, harmony, and fun together. I mean, that's what I really want. And so I set that intention and I say, can I, as I'm seeking my intuitive guidance, is having a family vacation together the way to do that? Well, I'm not getting this answer, clear answer, yes, have a family vacation together, because I don't yet have input and I haven't yet considered the circumstances of others that are involved. And so what happened is that I had to have conversations with each person and find out what was important to them, what was at work in their life, how their circumstances interacted, and whether that was all going to seem like it would pull together in a good way. When I thought, yeah, I think that seems like that's going to pull together in a good way, right at the end, there was a kink thrown in, and I had a conversation with my daughter, and she brought up something I hadn't thought of, and we're like, well, how would we manage that? And she had an idea, and I thought, okay, well, that's a good idea. Then I talked to my husband about it, and he's like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. So more information comes in, more conversations. And then it all really just magically pulled together for a yes from everybody. But that didn't just happen right out of the chute. So your intuitive guidance goes with the decisions that are a match along the way because other people's input is in the mix and the circumstances change. I remember a client of mine who wanted to move. She wanted to move to be closer to her daughter. And that was in a different state halfway across the country. And she really wanted more time with her daughter and her grandkids, and she wanted that family closeness, and she wanted to be nearby as she aged. So she goes into her own quiet time to pay attention to her guidance, and it all seems like a really good idea. But she really doesn't have an answer. Can I do this? Is this for me? Yet. Instead, she knows she has to understand what's at play with her daughter. What does her daughter think and feel? So she went into her quiet time and she got an idea, guidance from her GPS system or intuitive guidance on how to have a conversation with her daughter that would allow some freedom and flow of what was really at her daughter's heart, and where they could have an exchange of what concerns there might be if she were to make that move. So then, as she talks to her daughter, that brings up new information for her, things she hadn't thought about. And then she thinks, is this really going to work? And then she goes inside herself and gathers more information. She has another conversation with her daughter. And again, she's following her intuitive guidance because now she's not so sure it's going to work financially. So then she's got all these financial questions. So she gathers information, follows some hunches and nudges about what information to gather, who to talk to. Now, had her daughter said, which her daughter could have said, "Mom, I don't think it's a good idea that you move here." Now, she had a desire, remember, to be closer to her daughter, to her grandkids, to have more time together, and to make that move so she could accomplish those goals. Well, her daughter could have kind of derailed that, meaning her inner guidance system is now going to have to recalibrate because her daughter's opinion comes, of course, into the mix about what's possible and what's not possible. The circumstances have changed. So your guidance system is going to go with you for all the circumstances in your life and give you guidance and clarity on which decisions are right for you at that time. So had her daughter said, "I don't think so, Mom," then she would have had to go inside and say, "Now what?" Likely, her intuitive guidance system would have really helped her to calm down and say, "No worries. You'll be concentrating now on keeping the relationship strong and making it even stronger, increasing your bonds together, growing closer as you desire, having more interaction with your grandkids as you desire, and more strong relationship with them. It will be at a distance, but all of those you can do. And things may unfold in the future." So that is how your guidance system would work for you. In her case, her daughter said, "Yes, move here. I have some concerns." They talked about the concerns. And then she was like, "Oh, okay." Then she began to feel fearful about the financial things. And I told you about her financial worries. Could she sell her house and then actually buy another place nearby that would be a fit for her? Could she afford that? So she had a lot of nervousness and a lot of doubt. She ended up sorting through little bit by little bit and, yes, felt confident she could sell her house and buy another place there nearby that would fit in her budget. Then she had other doubts and worries that came forward. She was like, "Really? Is this the best move for me?" She felt scared. She felt anxious. It was unknown and it was uncertain. She really didn't know. After all I've gone through here and it seems like I should do this, I really don't know. So now she's the only one that can go into her quiet space, access that intuitive guidance with her wisdom, and find out, is the fear and the worry and the anxiety, are those valid fears, worries, and anxieties in which she should investigate them and maybe this isn't a good move? Or are those just natural fears and worries that one would have for making a big move in their life? And her inner guidance would say, "Do the move. I know you have a lot of anxiety, worry, and it's the right move for you." So again, only you know that, or only my client knew that for herself. I could not know that for her, and nobody else could know that for her. I had another client who had a very big, complex change in her life, and she needed intuitive guidance for multiple things, seemingly all at the same time. So let's break down a little bit that you're going to want to access your intuitive guidance for little bits at a time, not huge crystal ball, big moves. Your intuitive guidance rarely can work for you that way because the worry, the doubt, the fears, and the anxieties that go along with complex lives with a lot happening, you can't dispel all of those at once to be clear unless you're super, super practiced at doing that. So people who are very, very skilled can clear the way and get access to a broader range of answers all at one time. But most people deal with the complexities of life and the changing circumstances where somebody else's decision and circumstances have changed seemingly each day, and they need new guidance each day, and a guidance for a myriad of choices, and a myriad of decisions that need to be made doesn't often happen all at once. So I had another client I just mentioned who had this big complexity happen. Her husband left her, and not only left her surprisingly, but left her in financial difficulty all the way around. So she had a huge complexity of emotions to deal with, and a lot of financial worries, and a lot of questions about whether she should try to get back together with her husband, or whether she should envision and create a new, different life for herself. Those are big questions. They are crystal ball questions, really. And so you just are going to take some time and instead of a crystal ball clarity, which doesn't happen very often, rather let the desires and emotions for that which you want lead you decision by decision. So what she wanted was she wanted to have peacefulness inside. She wanted to have forgiveness for herself, her part in what had brought that about. She wanted forgiveness for her husband. She knew she could not find out whether getting back together and working to have that relationship resume was going to be right for her until she could find forgiveness for herself and from him and get clarity on whether that relationship was going to be a good match in the future. Now, she also needed some information from her ex-husband. When she talks to her ex-husband, what's his viewpoint? Is he like, no way, Ray? That wasn't her name. But, that's not going to happen. Or was he saying, well, maybe? And did he say maybe with a loving energy and a caring energy and a desire to have a harmonious relationship? Or did he say maybe with an energy that was like, I'll show you this can't work, and I'll show you that we're not good together? That's a very different kind of energy. So she needed to go back into her intuitive guidance to really know whether she should pursue the relationship, along with needing bits of guidance, which her guidance really unfolded to have her talk to other people and get their perspective, and talk to her ex-husband and then take that inside. Should I pursue this? I remember that she told me she got at one piece of that intuitive guidance. Just concentrate on yourself. Just for now, focus on your own emotional well-being. And the intuitive guidance really helped her to get focused just on the forgiveness for herself and the forgiveness for her ex-husband. And she then had to seek her intuitive guidance about how to get financially stable. And that was unfolding a bit by bit. Which jobs should she apply for? Which should she not? Which jobs are a fit and which not? She ended up, when I talked with her, she had 2 jobs, and she was really wanting to pare that down to just 1 job. And she was getting calmer with knowing that intuitive guidance for what you ultimately desire in your life, the peace, the happiness, the joy, the fulfillment, the purpose, and the passion for the things you're doing in your life and the people in your life and what brings you happiness in your life, unfold decision by decision and little bit by little bit. And your GPS guidance, your intuitive guidance, really helps you make those decisions each day when you calmly get into a calm mind and a calm body, and you feel that expansion in your heart where you can access that guidance. Now, I just want to conclude by sharing with you a tip that I heard recently when I was listening to watching a movie called Joy. And the movie was the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who were talking and conversing, and they have a joyful friendship. And each of them was sharing their wisdom in life. And the Dalai Lama shared, he's a science guy, which I love. I'm all about science. So he's a science guy. And he was sharing science that shows that when we choose, in whatever choice we're making in life, we choose compassion. That brings us greater, longer lasting happiness than if we choose just focusing on ourselves and what is present in ourselves, and we don't get past that to open our heart up with compassion. So if you're having trouble accessing your intuitive guidance and feeling clear on what decision is right for you, remember, your intuitive guidance is always there. And if you choose to go this pathway and it's not quite a match, you can recalibrate and choose other things in the future. And if ever you're not clear about what you should be doing and what decisions you should be making, choose compassion. Choose compassion for yourself and choose compassion for others. So, for example, the woman whose husband left her and she was in financial difficulties and her heart was broken and she didn't know what to do. So her compassion might be in understanding what led her husband to make the decision that he did. That could bring some compassion in her heart for him, that she could increase her understanding of that. The daughter, the woman who had a daughter and she wanted to move across the state, it was important for her to really understand and have compassion for what her daughter also wanted, what was going to be a match with her daughter. So you can always increase and grow the smooth, even energy waves that you are putting out into the field. Because remember, when your heart opens up with compassion, your heart creates those molecules that produce those smooth, even energy waves, which means you have increased the happiness for yourself. You have put more energy out there that is seeking a match, which means you have more opportunities, which means you get to seek your intuitive guidance about which of those opportunities are right for you. So your power is always in going within, creating that calm mind and body space, opening your heart up so you can be in touch with your intuitive guidance that will give you the trust that you have the ability to make decisions that are right for you. So thank you for joining me today. Here's to living your most powerful life, shifting your emotions into a very powerful place to be able to have all that you desire in your life and attract that to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. That's all for today's Wavemaker podcast. Thank you for listening. I have so much more to share with you, so be sure to tune in next month. And remember, go to my website, www.melaniedean.com, and join our free Wavemaker community, where you will receive even more science-backed advice for unlocking your emotional power.